Hello all, welcome to part 7 of Hybrid TestNG Framework, where I am going to show you how to integrate extent reports and take screenshot and embed those screenshots into the extent report in this session. So let's get started. So as I already mentioned, this is part 7, okay? Till part 6, okay, we have created a framework which is a hybrid TestNG framework, okay, which consists of data-driven framework and also which has implemented this page object model and page factory design patterns. Now we are going to take this hybrid TestNG framework to the next level by integrating these extent reports, and we'll also provide a facility of taking the screenshots for the test which got failed and embed those screenshots into these reports under the failed test. Okay. So I'll open this Eclipse IDE. Here we have the project, that is a project or framework that is created so far. Okay, so let's go to the next steps, guys. Let's go to the next steps. So first, we have to start with implementing the listeners. Okay, we have to first implement the listeners, guys. Okay, so listeners belong to this TestNG, guys. These are TestNG listeners. What listeners I'm talking about are TestNG listeners. So what is their user and all, I'll tell you now. Okay, so you see there are some tests, guys. Okay, you see here we have under login class, we have login test file, login related test cases we have automated. Here in the register, we have four test cases we got automated. And in the search, we have three tests, okay? Three test cases which got automated already. Fine. Now, the thing here is, whenever the execution of a particular test starts, I want to do something. Whenever a particular test fails, I want to do something. When a particular test passes, fails, skips, I want to do something. Okay. Like that, I want to do different activities. So I have already covered about this listeners topic in the previous sessions as part of the TestNG series. Okay. The same training series, guys, in the TestNG related videos, I have already covered this. Okay. So whenever something happens in this automation test, okay, like when the test starts executing or when the particular test passes, fails, skips, okay, for each and every action, we'll fire an event. This particular test methods will fire an event, and that events will be listened by these listeners. Okay, and once these events are listened by these listeners, the methods in the listeners, appropriate methods in the listeners, will get invoked. And whatever we want to do, what you want to do when a particular test passes, you can do something like that. Okay. So the events will be fired by these test methods of these classes, and based on the events, with the help of listeners and its methods, we can do whatever we want. Okay. For example, the main thing that you can actually do is, let's say in these three classes, if some test fails, okay, I want to take a screenshot. So when a particular test in this classes fails, it will fire an event, appropriate event it will fire. Based on that event, a particular method in our listeners will get invoked, and they will write the code for taking the screenshot. Only when the particular test fails, you want to take a screenshot. That is possible with the help of listeners, guys. Okay. These tests inside these classes, we are going to fire the events, and these events will be listened by the methods in the listeners class and all. And when these methods get invoked, we will write some code in those methods to perform such kind of actions when such kind of events occur. This is all the concept, guys. Okay. So I'll show you practically, guys, so that you can understand more. So what I will do is, first I will implement the listeners, guys. First I'll create a package here under src main Java. I'll create a package. Right click new class. Sorry, not class, package. Right click new. I'll say package. I'll say com dot tutorials ninja dot qa dot. I'll say listeners. Okay, listeners. You can give any package name. I'm just giving listeners. Some app name I'm giving. Under this listeners package, I'll create a class. I'll just name this as my listeners. You can name it anything, guys. You can name it anything. LISTENERS. Okay. You can say my listeners, our listeners. Okay. Whatever the name you want to give, you can give. Okay. It is a user defined class. Click on finish. Now I'll make this user defined class implements, I'll say, an interface, which is a predefined interface in TestNG. That is iTest listener interface. Okay, this is iTest listener interface, guys. Here I provided you see iTest listener interface. It's a predefined interface from TestNG. Now hover the mouse on this iTest listener and try to import it from TestNG, but you'll not be able to do so. You are not getting any import statement. Is this project already configured with TestNG? Yes, it's already configured with TestNG, guys. If you go to the pom.xml file, already we have this TestNG dependencies and TestNG libraries are downloaded and configured in this project. But when I hover the mouse on this iTest listener interface, I'm not getting the import statement. The same interface is provided inside under SRC test Java. You would have been able to import this without any problem. But since this, I'm trying to import this iTest listener from under SRC main Java, this is not possible. What I have to do? I have to go to this pom.xml file where we have this testng dependency and change the scope. Up to test means only under SRC test Java only. If this particular iTest listener is used, you can import that. But if you try to import this iTest listener, some libraries of this library related predefined class and interface of testing outside the SRC test Java, that's under SRC main Java, etc. That's not possible, guys. So what we have to do, change this test to compile. Once you change the test to compile, it will apply. This library configuration will be applied not only, the scope will be expanded now from SRC test Java to anywhere in the project. You can use the testng libraries. Okay, save all. Okay, now it will be applied to the entire project rather than just for SRC test Java. Okay, you can still use predefined class and interface of testng and import them in the SRC main Java also now. Now let's go back to the my listeners class which I have created under this listeners package of SRC main Java. Now hover the mouse after changing that test to compile scope from test to compile in the pom.xml file. You see now you are getting import statement. So don't get confused, guys. Okay, if you are not getting the import statement, that means the scope of that testng is up to SRC test Java. So we have to change the scope of the testng from test to compile so that you can use this kind of predefined interfaces and import them in the outside the SRC test Java. That's number one. Once they are imported, you see, this my listeners is now implementing the iTest listener. I want to override the methods. Okay, in my listeners class, user defined class, I want to override some methods of this iTest listener. Okay, in iTest listener interface, there are some methods that I want to override inside this my listeners. So if I click on this and take you to this iTest listener, there are some methods, guys. On test start, on test success. You see, under iTest listener predefined class, we have these methods. These methods I want to override in the my listeners. How to do that? How to do that? For that to happen, guys, for that to happen, okay, I can manually by looking at that code inside this iTest listener, I can write the code here. Or the easiest way in Eclipse IDE is select this my listeners and go to source and select this override implement methods option. And you will get this override implement methods dialog where you see from iTest listener which methods you want to override. These are all the methods of the iTest listener, but which methods you want to override, you have to choose. On finish, I want. I don't want. I want on start. This one on test failed, but with I don't want that. On test failed with timeout, I don't want. On test failure, on test skipped, on test start, on test success. All these four I want. 4 plus 2, 6. 6 methods I want to override. Just select that. You see all the methods in the iTest listener are automatically added here, and override annotation is provided by testng. This is sorry, from Java it came. Sorry, this is from Java. Sorry. Okay, because we are overriding using Java concept, right? This methods in the iTest listener. Okay. Yeah, fine. Let's remove all this stuff. Just remove all this stuff. Save. So on test start, on test success, on test failure, on test skipped, on start, on finish. Okay. These are the 6 methods I want to override. Now I just want to do an experiment, a kind of experiment, guys. Okay. So based on the events fired by this test methods inside this login register such classes, there are 5 tests in login test and 4 tests in register, 3 tests in, based on the events fired by this test methods, like when test starts. Okay. For example, a method is started executing in the login. So which method should be invoked? On test start in the listeners class should be invoked. Okay, based on the events filed, appropriate methods in the listeners class should get invoked. And here we have to decide what should happen when this method get invoked. What you want to do when this particular methods gets invoked by the events filed by the test methods inside its classes. That's what is the concept all about, guys. You see, what is this? There is on test start, on test success, on test failure. These are all test methods. Based on the test methods, it's fine. On test skipped also is there. But here there are two other methods known as on start and on finish. I'll take this on start to the beginning of the methods. Okay. On finish, I'll keep it at the end. You can keep it anywhere. That's okay. But I'm just organizing it in a better way. On start. On start means what? It's not on test start. It is on start. That means when the execution of the test inside this project starts at a high level, okay, this method will get invoked. So here, what I will do is for now, I'll not do anything. Okay, I'll just write a print statement instead. Okay, I'll just write a print statement saying execution of project test started. Okay. So before any of the tests got executed, I'll simply run the on start means the execution started just, okay. The test methods will now start executing. So execution of the project test got started, okay. Next on test start, when a particular test method, here there are 5 tests inside the login. Before each and every test starts executing, this method will be invoked in the listeners on test start. Each and every test start, this method will be invoked. Here I will be writing which is test started. Here, I can get the name of the test which got started. Okay. Here, 5 tests, 4 tests, 3 tests, they all are going to start. But which test is starting? I want to get the name of the test. I'll say result dot get name. There is a method, predefined method. I test result is from testng, guys. This is from testng. And here, using the object reference, we can call this method get name. It will get the, based on the event filed by particular test method, using which this particular method got invoked. This method can now retrieve the name of the test which has filed the event. Okay, we can get the name of the test. This will return the name of the test string. I'll say test name. Test name is equal to I'll write. Okay, now here I'll write a print statement saying system.out.println test name, this particular test name plus started executing. Okay, started executing. Then what about on test success? When any of these tests inside these classes got successfully executed without any failures, okay, when the test got passed, then on test success will be invoked. Okay, at the end of the test, if the test is passed, this method will be invoked. And here again the same thing is which test got passed. Further again, string test name is equal to result dot get the name. I'll write like this, and here I'll say system dot out dot println test name plus got successfully executed or got passed, whatever you want to write. Okay, got successfully executed. Now, on test failure means if any of the test methods inside these classes when executing got failed due to some exceptions or whatever it is, then on test failure will be invoked. And here again the same thing, string test name is equal to this result dot get name, result dot get name, and then I'll write down system.out.println test name plus got failed. Okay, I'll write failed. Okay, now next thing. So when something is failed, we want to find out the reason, right? Exception details we want. We can also print out that system.out.println result dot get throwable. Okay, this will print all the details of the failure details. Okay, why it got failed, all the details will be printed. Okay, get throwable. Exception details will be printed, guys, using this get throwable. Okay, result dot get throwable will print all the exception details for the reason for the failure. Now on test skipped, a particular test got skipped. Okay, I'll show you how to skip a test. Okay, but if a particular test gets skipped, then I'll write down print test name. I'll get the test name result dot get name, and here I'll write system.out.println test name dot test name place got skipped. That's it. And here, due to which exception this particular test got skipped, that also I want to print out. system, when in case of failure and skipping, we can get the exception details. Okay. Result dot get throwable. Again, same thing. Result dot get throwable. Done. On finish means after all the tests got executed. Okay. Before all the tests got started, on start was there. Execution of the project has started. And on finish means all the tests inside all these classes in this project got executed. Okay. Finished executing project tests. Okay. Finished executing project tests. Like some sample print statement I'm writing here for now, just to show you how the listeners will work. Okay. Now I will run this particular test with the help of testng.xml file, and I'm expecting these print statements to be printed in the output console. Okay. So I'm doing that. Right click, run as testng switch, but this will not happen. None of these listener methods will get invoked because of the test will fire the events, guys. Some tests will pass, fail, and all those stuff skip, but none of these events will be triggered. You will see that. You see, nothing will be printed in the output console. The print statements I've written in the listeners class are not going to work. I'll tell you the reason for that. Let all the tests run, and you will not see any print statements that are provided in the listeners class methods listener class methods are not going to run, guys. Not at all. Events will be fired by the tests, individual tests, but the methods inside the listeners class will not get invoked. What is the reason behind that? I'll let you know. Okay, let all the tests run from all the classes. That is register, login, and such classes. Once all the tests got executed, I'll show you why none of the methods inside the listeners class got invoked because of the events fired by the tests inside the classes, which are currently running the tests. So we're almost there. Let's wait for the test to complete executing. Such tests are running, the final tests. 2 more tests, I guess. Yeah, last test. And if you see the output console of the test got run, you see all the tests got executed, but in the output console, you see none of the print statements got printed. None of the print statements got printed. You see nowhere execution of project is started has printed. Nowhere this started executing got printed, got successfully executed, got printed, got failed, and with exception details got printed, got skipped, and let throw exception details got printed, finished executing project has got printed. Nothing got printed. These methods didn't get invoked. What is the reason behind that? Just by providing this methods inside just by overriding these methods in the my listeners, it's not going to work. Okay, it's not going to work, guys. Then what I have to do? I have to open this testng.xml file. In the testng.xml file, under the suite tag, you have to add something known as listeners. Without this, it is not going to happen. If you don't add this listeners tags, then testng will not invoke the methods in the listeners class. Here, we have to mention the listeners tag to inform testng to invoke this methods in the listeners class when the events are fired by the test inside this test classes. Okay, that's the reason we have to write this. Without you write this listeners and provide the path of this what do you call path of this listeners class, this is not going to happen. The connection between the test and the events fired by the test and this listener methods are not going to happen without this. So here under the listeners, right, listener, okay, class hyphen name attribute, and just self close this tag. Okay, then here you need to provide the path of this listeners class, that is my listeners path, using with the help of package name form dot tutorials without any spelling mistake, better tutorials ninja dot qa dot listners. Like this you have to write. So under this listeners, we have the class known as dot my listeners. Okay, like this you have to write. Once you have written like this, now the connection is established between these events fired by the test methods and the methods in the listeners class. Now you will see the print statements getting printed when you run this testng.xml file. Right click, run as testng suite. You will see that. You see, execution of the project has started. One of the method inside the listeners class got executed already. Okay, before any of the tests got executed, execution of the project has got started. Okay, one of that is, you see, this started executing and got successfully executed. Second test started executing and successfully executed will be printed. Started executing and successfully executed. Third test everything will pass. For now, everything is going to pass. So started executing and successfully got executed will be printed for every test. I'll show you how to fail a test and then how to get that appropriate events filed for the failed test and all those stuff. Okay. I'll do few things. You see all the tests whatever are running for each and every test. On test start is on test start method in the listeners class is getting invoked, and on test success also is getting invoked. Okay, none of the tests are getting failed, so only those two methods, 2 to 3 methods. Okay, on finish also will get invoked. So out of 6, only 4 methods. Okay, 4 or 3. Yeah, 4 methods, I guess. 4 methods will get invoked. Remaining 2, that is failed and skip, are not getting invoked anywhere because all the tests are getting passed. Let's wait for all the tests to run, and we are already getting the print statements printing here. Okay, the print statements are from the methods of the listeners class. You see 14 tests, and you start from here. You see execution of the project has started. Then first test started executing, got successfully executed, 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 got successfully executed, started executing, got successfully executed. For every test, we got the same messages. Okay, and finally, finished executing project test. After all the 14 tests got passed, you see, final on finish got executed, on finish method got executed, and we got that statement printed on finish. Finished executing the project test got printed. You see, that means events are pied by the test methods inside these classes, and appropriate methods are getting invoked. For now, on start got invoked, on finish got invoked, on test start and on test success got invoked, but on test failure and on test skip didn't get invoked because there are none of the tests which are failing. I'll go to the login.java, guys. I'll go to the login.java, or I'll go to the search.java, guys. I'll go to the search.java, last one. Okay. So what I will do with the last one is the priority to the second test. First test will pass. Second test, I'll fail it intentionally, guys. Okay. How to fail this test intentionally? Even though there is no problem, I'm trying to fail it intentionally, guys. Asset equals retrieve. Okay. Data prop dot get property, no product text in search results. Okay. The data properties, test data dot properties. There's no product that matches the search criteria is there. Okay, then what else is there, guys? Okay, so or else I will do one thing on test. Where is the method? Search.java, right? Okay. So here, instead of giving data.get property, I'll give it again, guys. I'll give it again. Instead of reading this from there, I'll just give some ABCD. Okay, which will fail, right? This retrieved no product message will not match with ABCD, so it will fail. Okay, it will fail. This particular test will fail. And third test, what I will do is I'll say depends on methods depends on methods is equal to, if this particular test fails, then this particular method should get skipped. Okay, because it is depending, this particular test method is depending on this method. So if this passes, this also will run. But if this fails, since this particular test is depending on this test, this will get skipped. Depends on methods. I'll give this method name. Okay, I can give any number of method names. This method name, this method name. So both the tests. Okay, so for example, here you can give multiple method names also. But here the thing here is guys, both the test methods should pass. Then only this method will run. Otherwise, if any of the test method fails, this will get skipped. You see, this particular test method is depending on first and second one. But if this is going to fail, third method is going to get skipped. Okay. Any of the test methods here provided in this list. You can even provide one also, not a problem. But for example sake, I provided 2. If any of this specified test methods inside this depends on methods fails, this test method will get skipped. Okay, that's I did this in the search.java so that one of the test method will fail and other test method will skipped. And I want appropriate methods inside these listeners. When the events are failed events and skipped events are fired from this search.java, appropriate methods, that is on test failure and on test skip, should be kind of. Okay, here I want to take a screenshot also. Okay, for now I'll write screenshot taken, but later I'll write the proper code for taking the screenshot. Okay, save this, save all. close all. This time you see more events will be fired. Right click, run as testng switch. So some tests in the search will fail and one test in the search will skip. Okay, we'll see whether respective methods in the listeners or class are getting invoked for the failed test and skip test. Okay, let's see that. The first search, okay, still we are not at the search test. Okay, so they are simply passing. Okay, search test started. First test will pass, guys, no problem. Second test will fail. Okay, we are intentionally failing the second test and other test got skipped. Okay, so now let's see the logs. Let's see the these are nothing but logs only, guys. Okay, these are logs, but we are printing them into the output console with the help of the listener methods. Execution of the project test started, and at the end, finished executing project test will come on start and on finish got executed. This one is like for the first test started executing, successfully executed, started executing, successfully executed. Okay, for all the tests it will be the same. So till the such test, the same thing will happen. Got successfully executed, started executing, successfully executed. Okay. Then you see the second test in the search started executing, it got failed, guys. Okay. And exception details got printed and screenshot is taken. We have simply written the print statement for taking the screenshot. But here, this is not the actual code for taking the screenshot. Just we are printing just to see whether whatever we wanted to do in the methods of the listeners class are happening or not. Again, the next test started executing got skipped because it is depending on the one of the tests. Okay, so which is failed. So again, the reason for the failure got printed and done. Exception detail got printed and finished. Okay, this is how the methods in the listeners class can get invoked, guys. Okay, but this is not how we are going to use the methods of the listeners class. I'm just going to I wanted to demonstrate how these methods in the listeners class are getting invoked when the respective events are fired from this test methods inside the these classes. That's what I want to do. But what if I run the login.java? Will this listener class methods will be invoked? No. These methods will only be invoked when you run the tests using the testng.xml file, because here we have provided listener tags. But in the listener login, register and such, I have not provided this listener related stuff. So when you run them individually, these methods will not get invoked, guys. Okay, they will be only invoked when you run these classes using the testng. We generally in real time we provide the listeners tags inside the testng.xml file. So from now onwards, you have to don't run the test individually, guys. Test classes individually. Run the testng.xml file where listeners tags are mentioned. Then only the methods in the listeners class will get invoked for the events fired by these methods in the test classes. Okay, fine. Now what next? What next? So have implemented listeners. Okay, now let's look into the extent reports implementation. Let's implement the extent reports. So what I have to do, I'll go step by step, guys. Here under utils, okay, under utils, I'll create a new class known as extent reporter. Okay, it just give some random name, extent reporter kind of name. You can get my extent reporter, whatever the name you want to give, just give here. Just create a user defined class, and inside this class, create a method, guys, public void generate extent report. Okay, some user defined method also you just create. Okay, generate extent report and make this static, guys, so that I can access this method with the help of this. Okay, when I have to generate an extent report, I'll say extent reporter dot generate extent report. It will generate a report for me. Okay, kind of thing. Now the next thing is here to implement this extent reports, implementation of the extent reports, I have to create an object for the extend reports class. Extend reports. Extend report is equal to new extend reports. Like this, you just create an object for the extend reports class. Hover the mouse on extend reports. Okay. So hover the mouse on the extend reports. Just give me a second. So hover the mouse on the extend reports and you will see there is no import statement coming because this extend reports is a predefined class which belong to extend reports library. Okay. So currently we have different libraries. That is Java library we have. In this project by default we have Java library. Apart from Java library, if you go to the pom.xml file, we have added testng library, Selenium library, Apache POI API library are there, but we don't have extend reports library in this pom.xml file. That is the reason when you hover the mouse on the extend reports, you are not getting the import statement. So what you have to do, you have to go to this new, just open the new tab and go to MVN repository and search for extend reports like this. Once you search for extend reports, you'll get this event stack extend reports. You'll also get relevant reports, but this is an older one, guys. Okay, go with the event stack, which is the latest. Okay, click on this extend reports. And the latest version we have, which got released last on September 19, 2021 is 5.0.9 as per today's recording date. Tomorrow, when you're watching these videos, you may get a newer version. That's okay. Okay. So for now, this is the latest version we have as per the recording time and all those stuff. Copy this and go here to the pom.xml file and paste the dependency tags of that extend reports here. Okay. Under this in between the dependency tags. Now we added the dependency tags of extend reports also into the pom.xml file. Click on save all button and this libraries will be automatically downloaded for the extend reports and configured with this project. Now go back to the this class extend reporter and generate extend report method. Hover the mouse now. Now you are getting the extend import statement. Import extend reports from this extend reports library. Okay. Now what is the next thing? Next thing is under extend reports, there are different type of reporters that we can use. Okay. There's no single type of reporter. There's no single type of report type under extend reports. There are multiple type of reports. I'll show you guys. Let's go to the official website of extend reports. Just type extendreports.com. This is the official website of the extend reports. Okay. Once you go to the official website of the extend reports, here you see something known as docs option. Click on version 5 and say Java. Select the Java guys. You'll be taken to the documentation of this. And here, if you expand this and say there is an option like reporters. Under the extend reports, there are different type of reporters that we can use. Click on the reporters. These are the different type of reporters. For now, we can use with the extend reports. One type of reporter is extend Spark reporter. Second type of reporter is extend event reporter. Third one is extend email reporter. Fourth one is extend Clove reporter. Coming to the first one, it's free, guys. Okay, you don't have to pay any license amount, so you can use it for free. Second one is extend event reporter, which is a paid one. Extend email reporter is also a paid one. This one we don't use. So we have to stick to the Spark reporter. Okay, people use Spark reporter in the free version. So I'll copy this line, or you can create an object for the extend Spark reporter also. Copy this line is also fine. Or you just type extend Spark reporter. Spark. Here, write Spark reporter. Okay, like this. And here you need to give the path of the report. Whatever the report you want to create, right, get created, right, that you have to give here. Okay. So what I will do here is I'll hover the mouse on extend Spark reporter and import this extend Spark reporter from extend reports library. And now this constructor cannot be empty, guys. We have to provide the path. I mean file. Okay. Which file? File extend report file is equal to new file. And I have to give the path of the path where I want to generate this extend report. Okay. Extend report will be in the .html format only, guys. Hover the mouse on file and import it from java.io package. Here, write down system.getProperty. I'll give the project path first, where I want to generate the report and with which name and extension I want to generate the report. That all I have to decide here. This will represent the path of the project. Under the project, at which location? Under the test output folder, under this test output folder. Okay. Under this test hyphen output folder. Okay. Under this test output folder, I'll create another folder here. I'll provide another folder. I'll just name that folder as extend reports folder. Okay, under extend reports folder, I want to give the name of the report as extend report and extension of the report as HTML. Okay, with this name and extension under this folder of this test output folder, I want to this extend reports folder is not there. If you expand this test output, you see extend reports folder is not there at this moment. Okay, extend reports folder is not there at this moment under the test output, but it will be created automatically on the go. Now extend report file, you just paste it here. That's it. Now what next? Once you have started using one of the Spark reporter, using this object reference of the Spark reporter, you can set some configurations, guys. Okay, you see Spark reporter, there are some things here. Okay, some configurations we can set. So copy this Spark reporter object reference and say dot config. Just call a method known as config method and say dot. The first one is theme. We have to set a theme. By default, which theme we have in this extend reports? If you go to the official website of this extend reports and go to this documentation, the last part is a complete example. Go to the last part, and on the top of this complete example here, a complete example here, there is a link, guys. Click on the link. You'll be able to see a report. By default, the report looks like this, guys. Okay, by default, the report looks like this. This black and blue color template is there, but there are other themes also. We can change the theme. Okay, instead of this theme, I want to get a darker theme. This is not a darker theme, guys, but I want to go with it. I can configure the report to generate a. I can configure this project to generate a darker theme. For that, I have to write spark reporter.config. Set theme. Here I'll say theme dot. You'll see if I say standard means you'll get the same report. This theme you will get. But if I say theme dot dark, you'll get a darker theme. I'll show you that. Then, so extend reports I covered in detail in the previous sessions of this series, guys. Okay. So if you can watch those videos, this explanation will be more easy for you. Okay. Spark reporter dot config again dot. This time I want other one, that is report name. I want to set a name for the report. For now, what is the name of the report? Here, name of the report is not coming here. This is the area. After this timestamp, before this timestamp, I want to here at this area where I am moving my mouse, I want to get the name of the report. So, but the report name is not coming by default. I want to set some report name. Set document. Sorry, not report. Otherwise, I'll say dot set report name. This is the method, guys. Okay, you have to give the name of the report. That is, I'll write a proper name: tutorials ninja test automation results. This is the name of the report I want to set. Okay, name of the report, results report. Okay, like this I want to give the name of the report. Next one, spark reporter dot config dot set document title. I want to give the title of this report, guys. If you see the title here, there's no title, guys. This URL is coming as title here. By default, do you see there's no proper title on this tab. Okay, in the sample report, the URL is coming as a title, but I want to give a proper title coming here. Okay, the page title should be something good. So I want to give my own title. So for that, what I'll do is I set document title and here write something like TN automation report. Okay, this is the TN automation result, tutorial automation report. Okay, this is the title I want to give. Spark reporter dot config. What else is there? Dot config dot. I want to give few more things like timestamp. I want to give by default. If you see this default report, guys, there is a timestamp here, but it is in a different format. First month is coming, then date is coming, then year is coming, then hours, minutes, seconds, and then AM, PM kind of stuff is coming. But I don't want this format. I want my own format. I want to change the format of the timestamp. So what I will do is dot set time stamp format. Okay, I'll give use this method, and here in the double quotes I'll provide the format, guys. I'll say DD. DD stands for date. Today is like 02, right? 02 is the date, and after that I want slash month, capital MM. The month will come YYYY. This will get the year. This 2022 year will come. Then hours I want to get HH. That is 14 colon. I want minutes MM, seconds SS. Okay, this format I want the timestamp. This is another format. This is not the format that I have mentioned, but I want the timestamp on the report should be in this format. Okay, so that's the reason I am giving this configuration. 4 configurations I have given. I think that's enough from the Spark reporter. Finally, after setting these configurations, guys, what I have to do is I have to say extend report dot attach reporter. Which reporter I am attaching to the extent report? One of the reporter. Okay, extent reports have different type of reporters. We were using Spark reporter. Okay, I'm just providing the Spark reporter. I'm attaching the Spark reporter to this extent report. All these configurations will be applied of the Spark reporter will be applied to the extent report now. Done. After this is done, guys, you have to say extent report. Okay, so in the generated report, okay, in the generated report, I want to display some information, some additional information regarding this automation tests. I want to document. Okay, I want to show in the report the information like what is the URL I have used, what is the browser, on which browser I have run the automation scripts, who is the person, which username of the person who has run the automation scripts, operating system in which the this automation scripts got run, Java version using which this automation scripts got created, whatever it is, all these details I want to get into the, I want to show in the report, guys. Okay, in one of the tab of the reports, I want to show in the generated extent report, I want to show. So here, if you see this report, guys, here there is a dashboard tab. Here, I want to, under this tables, I want to show that details of the report. Okay, so for that, I have to write this code, guys, extent report dot set system info. Okay, this one I have to say. And first, I want to provide the application URL details. Okay, application URL, this is the key. And what is the value that I want to show? The value is I have to get this application URL from the config.properties file. If you remember, in the config.properties file, we have the URL. Okay, if any tomorrow, if the client gives another URL, we'll update the URL here, right? So it's better to read it from the config.properties. So instead of hard coding here, you'll read it from the properties file. How to read that? I have to create an object for the properties file. Properties prop is equal to, I'll say config prop is equal to new properties. Okay, over the mouse on this properties from Java and simply say config prop dot load. It is expecting file input stream. I'll create an object for the file input stream. File input stream FIS is equal to new file input stream. And here, over the mouse on this file input stream and import this from java.io package. And this is expecting a file. So I'll write a file config prop file is equal to new file. Where is that config prop file? I have to give the path here. Okay, and here I'll give the path, guys, that is system.get property user.dir. This is a project path. Under the project path where we have the config.properties, under this src main java com tutorials in Java config, we have that. So we'll write the same thing here. It will be a kind of big one, but that's okay. src main under java, under that com, under that tutorials ninja. Don't make any spelling mistakes. Under that QA, under that config, under that config dot properties like this. I'll write down config dot properties. Okay, so once I provide this path of this config properties file, I have to provide this inside the file input stream and FIS config prop. Okay, this one I'll provide here. It will load. That's it. Put a semicolon here. That's it. That's done, guys. Okay, now here, since I've loaded the properties file, I'll use this config prop, and with the help of that, I can say dot get property, and I'll provide the property name from this config dot. That is the property name is URL. I'll provide that URL here. Now put a semicolon here. Done. Then again extend report. This time I want to set another system info, that is application browser name on which I have run the automation scripts. Browser name on which I have run the automation scripts. For that also same thing, guys. Config prop dot get property. Okay, put a semicolon here and go to this properties file, and I'll get this browser name. Okay, done. You see these two lines are giving some errors, guys. Okay, over the mouse and some checked exceptions are coming. So I'll surround these two lines with try catch block. Okay, try. Here I'll end with end this thing and just catch. I'll say exception. I'll say throwable. Otherwise throwability or E, whatever that you like, and say E dot print stack trace. That's it. Done. Okay, wherever it's better to provide try catch blocks instead of ignoring the exception. Okay, now the next one is extend report dot set system. What is the email and password I have used in this automation test? I want to write email. What is the email of this application that I want to give? Again, the same thing, config prop dot get property, and here put a semicolon and provide the email, valid email. Okay, copy this and provide that here. And next, extend report dot set system info. Here write down the password. Okay, password of this application. All these details I want to print in the report, guys. Okay, I want to print all these details in the report. So here I'll say config prop dot get property. I'll write valid password. Okay, valid password. Come back here and paste it here. Okay, valid password. Now what next? Not only this, guys, I want to print the operating system name, Java version name, user name of the user who is running the automation scripts, and so on. Okay. So a few more details I want to get, but I cannot get all the details from the properties file. 4 details which I'm adding to this report, I'm getting from the properties file, this config.properties file, but other details like application, this theme is done, report, this application URL is done, browser name is done, email address is done, password is done, but operating system, username, and Java version are not done. 3 more details I have to add. Okay. From where I can get this 3 more details? From where I can get this 3 more details like operating system, username, and Java version? So that is a different story, guys. Okay. So I'll tell you what I have to do, what you have to do. I'll create a package here, a temporary package. I'll delete this package once I demonstrate it for you. Experiment, I'll say experiment. I'm going to experiment. Okay. So create a new class here, say demo class, with a public static void main method. Inside this main method, I'll write a something system dot get properties. System dot get, instead of property, I'm writing properties, guys. Okay, make sure that you are writing this properties dot list. List, when you say list, you are getting, okay, system dot, you just type system dot out, that's it. Okay, in this list method, you just type system dot out. Now run this main method, right click, run as Java application. When you run that method, you will get a list of properties. All the properties of the system will come here. Which properties? You see a lot of properties are coming here. Okay, the property names and some values are coming. For example, operating system you want, os.name is a property. Value is Windows 11. Okay, we can retrieve this. Okay, instead of hard coding this operating system name manually in that system info, we can get the property name and get the value. Okay, similarly, we have OS name and what is the other thing we need? Username is some other thing, and Java version is a username. Here is a username, and somewhere here we have the Java version. Okay, these 3 properties I want. Okay, so what I will do here is, if I write down system dot out dot println, sorry, wrong statement. System dot out dot println, system dot get property. If I write down one of the property here, that is first property I want is this one, that is OS name, property name. Okay, to get the list of properties, I would write this line. This is only for temporary purpose. We are not going to use this in our automation framework, but just to find out the property names, I have used this line. Okay, so next, system dot out dot println, system dot get property, provide what is the next property I want to use. Apart from this, I want to use user dot name, the username of my machine. Okay, so that we can know who is running the automation scripts, and that one we can write here. And system dot out dot println, system dot get property. Here I'll write down system dot get property Java version. Where is the Java version? We have Java version. Okay, Java version property. It's giving the version of the Java. Okay. Now run this code, guys. Remove this part. Remove this part after you have come to know about the properties. That's not required anymore. Run this. You will get the operating system name, username, who is running the automation scripts, and Java version. 3 things are coming. These details I'll add in my extend report.java here as system. So extend report dot set system info. Here I'll write first one I will write it as operating system. So I'll write operating system here, operating system. Here I'll write down system dot, otherwise I'll simply copy paste. Okay, that is system dot get property operating system name. Okay, come back here and paste it here. That's it, and put a semicolon. It will be done. Okay, so one more circular bracket is missing, I guess. Yeah, fine. Now extend report dot set system info. I want to get the username. So for that, I have to write system dot get property. This username, system dot get property username. Okay, copy this and paste it here. Now put a semicolon. Last one, extend report dot set system info. Last one is Java version. I want Java version. Okay, and here I have to write down this statement. System dot. You see, you are not hard coding anything. Automatically, it will be taken from your system. Okay, so like that, we are sophisticating the stuff. Now, finally, I'll write down return this report. Whoever is calling this method, okay, we need to return this extend report. Return the extend report having this configurations and system info set. And the return type will be what? The return type will be extend reports will be the return type. Okay. When you call this method, the return type will be extend report. Save this. And now go to the demo.java, click on this, close all this stuff, remove the experiment package now. It's not required anymore. So now we have successfully created the extend reporter.java file. We have successfully created the extend reporter.java file. Now what else we have to do? We have to take this into action. Okay, we have to call this method and generate the extend report. Where we have to generate the extend report? So go to the listeners. When on start method is there, I don't want to print this. Okay, I don't want to print this. Rather, on start, I want to generate the report. I want to generate the report. I want to create a report, extend report. When the test execution, before the test execution starts, I want to create the extend report, then do the remaining stuff in the extend report. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to call this method, guys. Okay, it's under the utils package, extend reporter. So I'll write extend reporter. I'll write dot. The method is generate extend, because this static method I can call it directly. Like this, I'll call. It will return you an object of the extend reports. Extend report object it is returning. Pour the mouse on this extend report and create local variable. So we got the return type. Okay. Now once the report is created, I'll write down on start this much is enough. On start this much is enough. Okay. I want to generate the report. Next, when a particular test method starts executing, I don't want to write like this. Rather, I want to, this particular thing, I don't want to print in the output console anymore. This statement I want to print in the extend report, okay, as a log. How to do that? For that, I have to use this extend report here, but I cannot use because this is local to this method. I have to make it global. Then remove the local declaration. Now I'm accessing this extend report outside the method. Now I'll say extend report dot create test. There's a method known as create test. And here we have to provide the name of the test. Name of the test we already have retrieved. Result.getName will give the test name of the particular test which invoked this particular onTestStart method. So we created the test. This create test method will return you an object of the extend test. Okay, I'll say extend test is equal to create local variable. The return type of this method will automatically get added here. Extend test. So using this object of reference of this extend test, I'll write a log here. Extend test dot log of status dot info log. I'll write status dot info. Here, instead of null, I'll write this statement. I'll copy this statement and provide. Instead of print statement, I'm writing the logs into the report. Here in the report, we are creating the test. Okay, in the generated report, in the generated extend report, with the name of the test which invoked this on test start, we are creating a test. Okay, in the report we are creating the test case. Okay, this is what means. Into the report we are logging this part. Instead of output console, we are logging the details of like a particular test name started executing. We are logging that into the report. I'll show you that. Okay, these 3 lines we have written. Now next one, on test success, when a particular test passes. Here also we are getting the name of the report. Okay, and then again I want to use extend test, guys. I want to use extend test, okay? But this is local to this method. I have to make it global. Put a semicolon here and remove this extend test. Okay, local declaration. Now use this extend test here. Extend test dot log of status dot. This on test success means status should be pass, right? Pass status. Okay, I have to write pass status and the log details. Like I just want to print these logs into the report. Test name got successfully. Whatever the test which has invoked this on test success got successfully executed. Okay, this print statement I don't want. Done, guys. On test success is also done. Okay, we have to pass the test. Okay, in the report we are passing the test using this method. Now on test failure, there's something different. So that is here test name we are retrieving. That's fine. Now I want to write down this part. Test got failed should be at the end. I want to write like this, and get throwable should also be here. Get throwable should be here. Screenshot should be here. Okay, this is the order I want to take it. But for now, I'm not implementing the code for taking the screenshot. I'll implement that. Okay. Or if you really want to implement the code for taking the screenshot, shall I do right away? Yeah, it's better. I do right away. So how to write the code for taking the screenshot? I'll remove this line, guys. Okay. Once I write the code for taking the screenshot here, I'll remove this code. But the problem here is we need the driver. We need to typecast the driver to take the screenshot, right? If you remember my previous sessions in this series, I have explained about how to take the screenshots. Here, I have tried take screenshot. Okay, I have to typecast this driver with the text screenshot. But how to get this driver? How to get this driver from the test methods is the question. Dot. I can write this code, no problem. Get screenshot as output type dot file. All these lines I can write, but ultimately this will return file src file, src screenshot. Src means source screenshot is equal to, like this I'll write, import this file from java.io package and hover the mouse on text screenshot and import this from Selenium. All this is good, but this driver is giving me the error because this driver doesn't exist. But how to retrieve the driver? To retrieve the driver, guys, this method is invoked by the one of the events filed by the failed events filed by this test methods. One of the tests got failed and this method got invoked. That method has to pass the driver, and that driver will be stored in the result. From using the result, we have to get the driver, guys. How to get the driver? Using the result. I'll write down result dot. You see that driver is giving error because there is no driver here. Okay. How to get the driver? Result dot. There's something known as let's see what is the thing I have to use here. Get test class. Okay, this method I have to use dot get real class. Okay, so I remember the order, guys. Okay, you don't have to remember. You can copy paste from my code. That's not a problem. This is just a format for retrieving the driver object. Okay, get test class dot get real class dot. There's something like get declared field. Get declared field. Here we have to write driver here. Okay, and say dot again get and this object one. And here we have to write again result dot. This is result dot. This one, if you don't remember, you copy paste, guys. Okay, get instance. Okay, get instance. You have to write inside this and put a semicolon. This will get you the driver, guys. Okay, this will get you the driver in the object format. This will get you the driver in the object format. Okay, you see the driver is coming in the object format. We have to typecast the driver. Okay, that object web driver we have to typecast. Over the mouse web driver interface we are typecasting. So Control Z. Over the mouse. Okay. Now here I'll write driver is equal to and say web driver. Driver is equal to. Okay. Over the mouse on this web driver, I import it from Selenium. You see the error is gone. Now the problem comes where here we are getting a checked exception. We have to surround which this one, this statement I'll write automatically to it will surround with that driver statement with try catch blocks. Okay, and here web driver has come out, and here I'll provide is equal to null. Okay, is equal to null. Fine, we got the driver, guys. We got the driver, and that got typecasted here. Error is gone, but there's one problem, guys. The problem is for this particular method to receive this driver, you have to go to individual classes. Don't forget to do this, guys. Okay, this is very important. A lot of people make mistake here. Open this login.java. Here, inside this classes having the test methods, At the global level, we created this WebDriver, right? For this particular driver to be passed to this methods of the listeners class, we have to make them public case. Otherwise, this driver cannot be shared. You will get null pointer exception. Okay. So give public here, public, and here also give public. Okay. Otherwise, in all the classes, you have to make WebDriver as public. Otherwise, this driver will not be passed to this method inside this listeners class. Driver will not be passed. Now everything will be okay, guys. Will not get any problems. So we got the driver, guys. We successfully got the driver from the event test method which fired this on test failure method event. Okay, and then that driver we are typecasting here for taking the screenshot. And what is the next one? I'm writing the code for taking the screenshot, guys. I'll remove this line. So now I need to copy the screenshot from the source location to one of the location in my project. Okay, so what I'll do for that is I'll write some code like this. Okay, string destination screenshot path is equal to system dot get property where I want to store the screenshot, where I want to copy the screenshot to that location. That is user dot dir plus under the project. I'll create a folder, guys. I'll manually create a folder. This folder cannot be created automatically. I have to manually create. I just name the folder as screenshots folder. Directly under the project, I'm creating the screenshots folder. Under the screenshots folder, I want to capture the screenshots. Okay. Screenshots. Under the screenshot, with what name and extension I want to create the screenshot, with the name of the test. What is the name of the test? String test name is the name of the test. I'll say test name plus test name with extension as .tng. Okay, I want to take the screenshots. Now I'll write one more line here. Okay, for copying the screenshot from this location to the destination screenshot path, I have to write one more line, that is file handler. Okay, this is provided by Selenium, guys. File handler class is provided by Selenium. You can import this file handler from Selenium library, and file handler dot copy source screenshot, and to here you have to say new file of. You have to provide the path of this. Okay, destination file path, and put a semicolon. Hold the mouse on this, and it's asking you to surround with package blocks. Surround that as expected, as required. Okay, you see the screenshot is taken. The screenshot is taken and captured at this destination screenshot file path. Okay, copied into the screenshots folder with the given name and extension, test name and extension. Now what I want to do is I want to embed the screenshot into the extent report. Okay, here in the extent, the screenshot is taken, guys. Screenshot is taken, but I want to attach the screenshot into the extent report. For that, what I have to do is I have to write extent test dot add screen capture from path. Which path? From where I have to take the captured screenshot will be copied to the screenshots folder. From that, I need to copy the screenshot and add it to the report, add it to the extent report. So this method will add the screenshot taken and put into the screenshot folder from there to the extent report. How? You have to provide the path of the destination. So we already have this path where the screenshot will be taken and provided, right? That I have to provide here. It will embed it into the extent report. Now next one is, again I have to say extent test dot, okay, extent test dot log status dot info. I'll say status dot info. I'll say this info I want to give. This exception details I want to get into the report. I'll add this exception details into the report. Put a semicolon here. This line is not required. Then extent test dot log here status dot fail. I will say, and here I'll say test name place got failed. Okay, test name got failed. Put a semicolon here. Remove this line. Okay, that much. So fine. On start is completed. On test start is completed. Then on test success is completed. Right, on test success is completed. Then on test failure is completed. Okay, we have failed the test in the report. We have taken the screenshot and attached it to the report, embedded in the report, and we are showing the exception details also in the report. On test script is still there, where I'll write on extent test dot log status dot info, And here I'll write down, instead of writing, yeah, I'll write this line, guys. Okay, I'll write throwable. Okay, the reason for the skipping, I'll write down here the status.info. And the next step I'll write extend test dot log status dot skip. I'll say skip, and here I'll write down skip test name got skipped. Okay, test name got skipped. I'll write down and remove these two lines. It's not required anymore. Okay, instead of writing our logs into the output console, printing our logs into the output console using print statements, we are now directly writing into the report. In the report itself, we are going to get the logs. Okay, we are going to get the screenshot, exception details, everything in the report. Okay, here we are for failed test, we are getting the screenshot in the extent report, embedded in the extent report. Exception details, get throwable, using get throwable, we are getting the exception details in the extent reports, and we are failing the test in the extent report when a particular test fails. Okay, otherwise the test will pass in the extent report. Okay, so here we are skipping the test in the extent report. And on finish, what I want to do, I don't want to write this print statement. Rather, on finish, I will write extent report dot flush. If I don't flush, all these details, all this information logs or whatever that is will not be added to the report, guys. Finally, on finish, I have to flush. So finally, the report will be created with all these details. Okay, where the report will be created, you already know, right? We have given the path. Okay, in the extend reporter, we have given the path where the report need to be created under this test output folder, under the extend reports folder. Extend report.html report should be created. Close all, save. I'll optimize the listeners. But for now, let's see whether this code is working or not. Okay, so I'll run this testng.xml file, right click, run as testng switch. All the tests will be executed, where in the search class, second test will be failed and third test will be skipped, right? So for all the past tests, there's no problem. So a report will be generated, guys. Extend report will be generated for us in this framework. After all the tests got executed, I'll show you the report. It will contain, the extend report will contain the log status, logs, screenshots for the failed test, exception details for the failed tests, and skip tests. Everything will come. Okay. So all the tests are running one by one. Let all the tests run. I'll show you a report. After that, we'll optimize we'll reduce the number of lines, or we'll do few things. Okay, in the listeners class, methods inside of the listeners class. Some code we have to move it as a reusable methods and all that I'm going to cover once this report is generated for us. Okay, and later again I'll run the scripts to see everything is working fine after creating the reusable methods and all those stuff. Okay, after reducing the number of lines of code and after optimizing the code. So let's see which tests are running currently. Looks like such tests are running currently. Valid product search test. Say this test will fail. This test is going to fail. And the screenshot should be taken. And because of the test got failed, another test got skipped. Okay, now refresh this project, guys. Refresh this project. And you see a screenshots folder is there. Under that, we got a screenshot. Open the screenshot or go to the location where the screenshot is taken. Go to the location where the screenshot is taken, guys. Just give me a second. This is the screenshot which is taken. Okay, let me open the screenshot. You see, this is a place where the test got failed. Screenshots are being taken and copied into the screenshots folder. Okay, and from here, they will be embedded into the extent report, where the extent report will be created, as I already told you, under the test output folder. There will be a folder created like extent reports. Under that, we'll get the extent report. Right click, open with web browser, you'll get the extent report. You see the theme, whatever the theme we have mentioned, right, in the extent reporter, if you remember, in the extent reporter, if you remember, whatever the theme I mentioned, dark theme, that's why we got the report in the, okay, that's why we got the report here. Okay, the next one is this is the report name. Let's see whether we got this tutorials in the test automation results report here. Yes, we got the report name. And next one is title, TN automation report. TN automation report is the title. We got then timestamp DD MM HH MMSS. Whether we got the timestamp or not, you say DD MM YYYY HHMMSS. Okay, we got the required timestamp. Then what else? So wait, this details, set system info details, like application URL, browser name, email, password, operating system username, Java version got displayed. Go to the last tab here, guys. You scroll down, you'll see system information. You see name, value, application URL, you got browser name, you got email, you got password, operating system, username, Java version. Okay, everything we got here, guys. Okay, so that is also fine. Okay, so everything we got, guys. Okay, according to the created report. And now let's look into the reports. You see this one got passed. You see information. This particular test started executing. The logs are not being printed into the output console anymore. If you see the output console, there are no logs printed here. There are no logs printed here. Rather, okay, this is like this. Okay, logs are getting printed into the report. And here you see, got successfully executed and got termed as, it's an info log, it is a pass log. Okay, it got passed. Same thing for all the pass tests. But if you go to the failed test, you see a screenshot is embedded in the report. You can click on the screenshot, you can see the screenshot for the failed test. And apart from that, we got the normal info log. We got, you see, exception details get throwable. Okay, exception details are printed for the reason for the failure. And you see the test got failed. The test is termed as failed because we have written there extend test dot log of status dot fail we have written. Okay, this got failed, log details got failed. And skip, for skip, what's there in the skip? Okay, just give me a second. I've scrolled down. Skip. For the skip, you see, we are getting the info log, started executing, and it got skipped. You see, the test is marked as skip. And here we got the throwable details. Okay, throwable details. Fine. So far, so good. So far, so good. We can do a lot of stuff, guys. We can do other lot of stuff. Okay. For now, this much is enough for this session, guys. Okay. So as I mentioned, I have to optimize this listeners class. I'll do that in the next session. I have to optimize this methods inside the listeners class, and I have to do other stuff also. Okay. You see, once I run the I have to move this code, the screenshot code. For the screenshot code, I have to create another method. And apart from that, I want to automatically open the report. I don't want to manually go and right click and you see, I don't want to go here and right click and say open with the web browser. I don't want to do that. I want to, once the scripts are run completely automatically, this Eclipse ID should open the report for me. Okay. All such kind of things I'm going to cover in the next session, guys. Okay. So I cannot cover everything in a single session. So in this session, we have successfully implemented the extent reports, listeners, and all those stuff, along with taking the screenshots for the failed test. But we have to optimize the code and we have to do more, guys. Okay, so we'll work on more second part of the extent reports. I'm going to do that along with the listeners and all the stuff. I'll make it better in the next session. Okay, this whatever I have done now, I'm going to make it better, more optimized, more useful, more feasible, more easy to use, and all those things. I'm going to do that in the next session. Okay, more logs and all those stuff. I'll do that and implement that in the next session. So guys, that's all for this session. See you in the next session. Thank you. Bye.